Good morning, Pam here again. How are you doing? It's October the 6th, I think, and the leaves outside are turning all yellow and falling off the trees. It's cold and rainy, and so it feels really great to just be cuddled inside the house. And yeah, I wanted to talk about being authentic. How easy is it for you to be your authentic, real self? So a little while ago, someone either wrote in my comments or mentioned on a video, let me just grab my little handy notes here, when I started my YouTube channel. And that got me thinking about how it actually started. And I didn't really mean to get even this far on the journey. It was by accident, really. I had done a couple of minute video just filming myself on my way to work, like while I was driving, because my way to work is just down these little residential side streets. It's really close to my house where I was working at the school. And so I just wanted to capture kind of like how it felt in that moment to be heading to work in the last couple months that might, have been the end of my kind of formal classroom teaching career, and how I was feeling. And so it's just a funny little couple minute video. But I'm glad that I did that, because it's been so easy to forget how that felt. And even though I didn't capture a lot, it kind of reminds me personally. So that one's still up. You can watch that if you really want to. And then the next one was a rant. I had got home from a particularly tough day, and I was just undone. I was so frustrated, and I needed to talk it out and just express myself and how awful that was before I forgot, right? So I just stayed in my car and I did a little video. That one is set to private, and because there are real people, that, not that I actually named names, but if anybody stumbled on it, they would know, who and what I was talking about a little bit more. And so, but I might just for curiosity's sake, unprivate it or put it to public just for even a couple hours today or something, in case you're curious. I'll see. I might need to re-watch it, see how bad it really is. Anyway, so what else why do I bring this up? Why do I bring up that video? Well, two reasons. So the first one is that I've been evaluating what I'm doing on YouTube, what this little channel is for, how it's benefiting me, if it's benefiting anyone else, if it's worth the time and energy, and what kind of videos should I be making? Because so far I've just been riffing, from what I really feel led or, internally pushed to share. And I've really enjoyed it. But I'm really evaluating what I'm doing with this and with my blog, because I've been writing a blog since like 2007, 8 or 9, I forget. And my current blog has just been going on for a year and a bit on a different platform. But it is so, it's wonderful. I love writing, but it takes a really long time. And these days I find myself without a lot of, I have the time technically, but if I push myself all day, then I'm totally exhausted. And so I have to remember that I am still dealing with this state of burnout. I'm still dealing with somehow like a lowered capacity, and I don't want to get resentful, frustrated, not really able to do a good job of my lessons and things like that. So anyway, what kind of videos? And then the second reason I brought up that video was this idea of authenticity, being real. So a few years ago, I started a course called Crest, and it is for people in midlife, but older people. Here's my mug from them. And just as a funny side note, I took it down from the shelf and I looked and there's candy in it because they filled it with these little candies, but because I had recently been diagnosed with diabetes and I didn't eat any candy at all, they're still in there, probably hard as rocks. So I did this course. It was a 2-year diploma in Christian leadership. I'll put this here so we can see it. And it was great. I did it online, just about totally online, except for the very last course where I went to a beautiful retreat center. And I'll never forget the beauty. It was springtime, meeting, other people that were taking the course and doing the last part of it together was just so life-giving. And anyway, the first year of Crest, of this diploma in Christian leadership, it is exploring, explores your story, or my story, and your deep values and your core strengths. So the first year is kind of about, discovering you and what really makes you tick. And then the next year is going outwards and kind of more of a focus on what you can bring to the table, and how you can kind of empower others. So I learned eventually, after a great deal of trial and error, going back and forth, that one of my deep core values is authenticity, or being real, biting down on that gold medal at the Olympics, and, as a symbol of, is this real gold, right? And so I value that in other people, and I value it in myself. And the reason it was so hard is because I realized during that time that I was not being authentic. I had a really hard time, and I still have a really hard time, because I go about in the world highly masked, you could say, camouflaged. I'm pretty real on here, and I think that's why it surprises me when people say things about, you have a soft, gentle demeanor, because I have not always been told that, and I don't feel that way. It's always a surprise to me when people say that. But maybe in really showing up as who I actually am here, that part of me is coming out more. I don't know. It's a quandary. It's a question. Just checking out my notes. I was exhausted from doing that. And I think that exercise in uncovering my deep core values really set the stage for understanding that I was in burnout, and understanding why I was feeling so burnt out. Since then, I've been trying to figure out my real authentic self so I can embody, or that's kind of a popular buzzword right now, I can show up, for myself and for others in a real way, in reflecting the values that I actually hold. So to sum up, I guess, how do I keep making videos that show my authentic self and what I really think, my real opinions, trying to maybe share a bit of wisdom, and just do that authentically and make videos that people want to watch. So what do you want to watch? What kind of videos do you look for, or that you wish there were more of? And I'm not trying to build a big YouTube channel, so it's not so much about, me matching that. It's about seeing, okay, is what I'm doing resonating with people? And it might help me decide whether to keep going or go in a different direction, or just have more intention behind doing it instead of kind of randomly, oh, I have some time right now. So yeah, what else did I want to say? Yeah, basically, just, is authenticity a deep value for you? What values do you hold? And what would you like to see? So yeah, just a little query, and talk about showing up, being real, being authentic. It is, I think it's hard in some ways for everyone, but a lot of people, you can just tell that they're just being their real selves, and it's hard for me for whatever reason. I am really introverted, but people who know me in my life usually think that I am extroverted or something like that, because I've often been kind of up front, or in front of a classroom, or in front of a church, or talking in the ladies group, or leading worship. And so, but my real self has a hard time doing those things. Anyway, I hope that you're having a great day, enjoying October and whatever season that looks like for you and the part of the world you're in. And if you want to like and subscribe, go ahead. And I'll see you again, hopefully as my authentic self, very soon. Bye.